France 24 reporter Clovis Casali was at the National Assembly covering all the drama yesterday. He's here today to help us understand what the next steps are. So, Clovis, how is this special commission going to work? And is it at all a sign that Macron is surrendering?
Well, surrendering, maybe not, but it's a humiliating defeat. I can tell you yesterday at the National Assembly, nobody expected this motion to pass, burying this immigration bill before the debate even started. So what's happening now? The bill will go to this so-called mixed parliamentary commission made up of upper house senators and lower house MPs. The idea is to get a compromise text. But what will be in it? That's the whole idea, the whole problem. Then it has to go to the National Assembly and to the Senate. So parliamentary members can always block this immigration bill. It will all depend what kind of compromise the government gets. If it does get the support from right-wing politicians, notably les Républicains, or maybe even the far right of Marine Le Pen, the devil is in the details, in the numbers. And that's why it's so complicated for the French government. Emmanuel Macron, the French president, and Gérald Darmanin, the immigration minister, who's been putting forward this flagship bill, no, they can't count on the left wing. The left wing is fiercely opposed to the immigration bill and the idea even of reforming the current system, saying there are many more problems: purchasing power, housing crisis, and so on. Let's take a listen to Mathilde Panot. She's the head of the largest parliamentary group, largest left-wing parliamentary group at the National Assembly. Here's Mathilde Panot.
The Macronie has to relearn what democracy is, and in any democracy, when the national representation votes against a text, the government has to withdraw that text. That's what we expect from this government today, that it withdraws this text. And I would remind you that it's always the National Assembly that has the final word.
So what is it that makes this bill so controversial to the left, and what can we expect it to look like after it squeezes through this commission?
Well, the government says it's all political moves on all sides to try to block this reform. Emmanuel Macron, the French president, is convinced the French people want a reform on immigration. That's what the French people want, said also yesterday Gérald Darmanin at the National Assembly. So if you prevent even a debate of happening, it means you're defying the French people, going against their will. Thing is, the opposition is opposing the immigration bill for opposite reasons. You've got the far right and the right wing saying this is not going far enough in tackling immigration and preventing illegal migrants from reaching French soil and working here undocumented. Then you've got the left wing saying that the French government is cracking down too much on immigration and also targeting possibly asylum seekers who have the right to be here, with many industries in France relying on undocumented workers. And part of Emmanuel Macron's plan, and the French government, of course, was to give papers, to grant papers to those in France undocumented, working in sectors suffering labour shortages. That could be a part of the bill, completely scrapped ultimately, because it does seem that the French government needs to convince at least some right-wing members of parliament of joining them in coming up with an immigration bill. It's a bit technical, but just a last word to say that what the French government might do ultimately is break down this law, come up with several smaller bills, if you will, some that are tough on immigration, and then they can get the votes of the right, maybe others closer to the ideas of the left wing, and then they can try to convince some left-wing voters. What's sure is that this is going to cause a lot of delay, and that's exactly what the French government wanted to avoid, but now they have no choice.